A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Jerry of the Circus. For Jerry of the Circus.
Hey, Jojo,
Just a minute, folks.
Pipe down there. Mr. Randall wants to talk.
Yes, hey, give the boss a chance.
Thank you, boys. All right, now, if you'll all be quiet for a few minutes, I'm afraid I've got some bad news for you. No, wait until I'm through, and then you can all talk it over. I'm sorry, I have to tell you that Jim Bennett has been robbed of the payroll money.
No.
You don't say.
Well, what about our pay?
Yeah, what about that
Now, just a minute. Keep cool. You'll all be paid every cent you've got coming to you. But not today. Now, listen, folks. Now, wait a minute, listen. We've always worked together on things, and I'm sure none of you will fail me now. I'm going to have to make some investigations, naturally. Meantime, I'll have some more money sent over, and you'll all get your pay tomorrow. I'm sorry to be a day late, but I'm sure you'll all bear with me.
Sure, boss.
Yeah, it's okay with me, Governor.
All right, folks, that's all. Go on with your lunch now. So long, folks. Oh, hello there, Patsy.
Hello, Mr. Randall.
How's the new act coming along? Think it'll be ready to put on the show pretty soon?
I hope so, Mr. Randall. Oh, how awful about the robbery. Was Jim hurt?
Isn't that like a woman? Always got to worry about someone else. Well, not seriously, Patsy. Just a bump on the head.
Oh, what a shame.
Did you see anybody, Randall?
I'm afraid I'll have to keep his remarks confidential for the present, Jason. By the way, drop by my office after you've had your lunch. There's something I'd like to discuss with you.
Certainly. And if there's anything I can do about this payroll business, you can count on me.
Well, we'll see. Goodbye, Patsy.
Bye, Mr. Randall.
Just a minute, Mr. Randall.
Yes, Jason?
I'm not hungry now, and if you don't mind, I'll run along with you now.
Fine. Glad to have you.
Gee, this is terrible.
Yes, I'm afraid it is, Jason.
What about Bennett?
Well, I didn't want to upset Patsy, but he was pretty badly knocked about.
Has he seen a doctor yet?
Yes, he's there now. Jerry happened to be on the spot when I discovered the thing, and he's gone with him.
Good. What's in your mind, Mr. Randall?
I just wanted you to identify something for me. Here's my office. Step right in, will you?
Identify? What do you mean?
Well, here it is. You recognize this?
Sure. Well, that's the gun I reported lost. That's mine, all right.
I thought so, but I wasn't quite sure of the number. No, don't touch it. I'm keeping it wrapped in this handkerchief in case there might be fingerprints on it.
And look, part of the handle's been knocked off.
Yes, I know. Was it like that when you last saw it?
No, sir. That's happened since I last used it.
You don't say.
Good heavens. You don't mean... You certainly can't think I've had anything to do with this business.
I don't want to think so, Jason. But, well, where were you from 11:30 to 12:30 this noon?
Well, I guess I was taking a walk before lunch.
That's fine. Who were you with?
I wasn't with anybody.
Well, certainly someone saw you someplace. What part of town were you in?
Gee, Mr. Randall, I went out the other way, into the country. Went right along the railroad tracks, and when that noon train passed me, I headed back here for lunch.
You mean you haven't anyone to vouch for having seen you?
Well, I'm afraid I haven't.
Well, pretty tough, Jason.
Golly, Mr. Randall, you don't think that I'm the kind of to pull a stick up.
I don't want to think so.
Is there anything I can do to clear myself?
Bring in the real culprit.
And if you don't think I'll try that, you're crazy.
But don't go off this lot. I'm sorry, but I'll have to keep you under surveillance until this thing is settled.
Well, that's fair enough. Got any tips to give me?
I'm afraid not, Jason. After all, you're a suspect until we can prove someone else had this gun since you claim to have lost it.
Okay. I'll prove I'm innocent if it's the last thing I do.
Mr. Randall. Mr. Randall. Oh, hello, Jason.
Hi, Jerry. What's in your mind?
Gee, Mr. Randall, the doc says Mr. Bennett's got to stay in bed.
No.
Jerry, sure?
Yep. Says maybe he's got a concussion or something, and Bennett says he won't stay in bed. He's going along with the show, and he's raving something terrible and calling for you. And, well, so I came as quick as I could.
I'll get down there right away. Oh, by the way, Jason, I wouldn't repeat our little conversation.
No, of course not.
I'll talk to Barney, and he'll see that everything is going along as I want it.
I understand. He's a good policeman.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I'll get down to Jim. Sorry, I'll have to lock this door now, so you better come on out, you two.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Randall.
Well, so long.
Goodbye. Gee, isn't this exciting? A real hold-up and everything.
Yeah, a little too exciting.
You won't be mad if I ask you something.
Of course not.
Well, Mr. Bennett and Mr. Randall,
Yes, Jerry?
they seem to think that gun.
Belong to me?
Yeah, how'd you know?
Because it does belong to me.
No, it can't, Jason.
I'm sorry. I'm afraid it does.
Gee,
Oh, but don't worry, Jerry. I didn't pull that hold up.
golly,
Someone stole that revolver from me before you even joined this circus.
yeah, Mr. Randall said something about it, but they
Said it all might be a plant?
what's the plan?
Or just a plan. To pretend I'd lost it so when something like this turned up, I wouldn't be to blame.
Golly, you know everything, don't you?
I sure wish I did. But for one thing, I've got a good suspicion. I've got to see Bumps. Maybe he can help me.
He's pretty good at thinking things out, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Well, here's the wagon. Bumps. Say, Bumps.
Oh, hello there. Well, hello, Jason. Any news?
Plenty. Is Lorenz around?
No. Why?
No, Decker?
No, as a matter of fact, they went into town today. They ought to be getting back here soon, though. It's time to be getting to work.
Now, listen, Bumps. I'm not trying to put an idea in your head, but you dress in the same wagon, and I just wondered if you'd ever noticed either of them with a gun.
Can't say as I have. Anyhow, they aren't allowed to have guns. Why?
Well, you don't happen to know where they were around noon today. They were at lunch, you know.
Sure we know, don't we, Bumps? They went into town. We saw them go.
Yeah, that was just about 11, or maybe a little after.
Well, it looks like they're in the clear then, doesn't it?
Oh, you mean about the robbery?
Yeah. You see, my gun was found on the floor.
Yours?
Yeah, and it just happened that I was off in the country taking a walk all alone, and I haven't anyone to prove where I was just at that time.
Oh, Jason, that's bad.
Yeah, it's tough. Oh, but I'll manage somehow. Well, guess I better get ready for the act. I go on pretty soon.
Don't let it get you down, Jason. There's lots of things can happen.
I'm finding that out. So long, folks.
Bye, Jason.
So long.
Aw, gee, Bumps, we just got it clear, Jason.
Yeah. Well, son, looks as if we need a good detective around here. What with all that alfalfa disappearing and now the bankroll.
Gee, these robbers aren't afraid of anything. They go off with truckloads of things at night and money in broad daylight and right in front of everybody.
Oh, here's your chance to do a little super sleuthing, Jerry. Well, I'm sorry, but I got to get in and finish dressing. Those knife throwers better be getting here pretty soon.
That looks like Decker now.
Where?
Down near the sideshows. See, with the beard.
Oh, yeah, good. That's him, all right. Well, I'll be seeing you, son.
So long, Bumps. Rags. Now listen, Rags. You and me are going to be detectives. But we mustn't let anybody know it. Just Bumps, and he won't tell. Golly, you're wonderful, Rags. The way you pick things up. I think you're a knockout. Now, don't wag your tail so hard. It might fly off. Honest, it's a wonder it doesn't swing you instead of you swinging it.
Hello, Jerry. And Mr. Rags.
Hi, Decker.
What's this, a conference?
It sure is. Rags and me, well, we got big business.
Oh, you have. What's it all about?
Well, I guess we can't tell you. It's official business, you know, and kind of private.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I didn't mean to be rude.
Gee, I didn't mean it that way, Mr. Decker. I was just honest.
I know. I guess I can take a hint. Oh, gee, I forgot. I've got to get these knives and go over and meet Lorenz.
Isn't Lorenz going to make up?
Oh, he's already made up. When we got back from town, we stopped by our compartment in the train, and he fixed up there a little. He was kind of tired,
Just from going into town?
Oh, well, guess I better get those knives.
Well, hi, Decker.
Hi, Bumps. I gotta hurry. Lorenz is waiting for these knives.
He kind of keeps you hopping, doesn't he?
Well, I work for him. He's boss.
Mm-hmm. Well, there are all kinds of bosses, you know.
Well, I got the knives. Guess I better beat it.
Why, Jerry, I thought you'd gone to bed.
Well, I did, but I can't sleep.
Well, what's the matter?
I just can't get things out of my mind.
What kind of thing?
Oh, the money and the alfalfa and...
No, listen, Jerry. Even detectives have to sleep.
I know, but listen, Bumps. I won't disturb anyone. Lorenz and Decker were asleep. They didn't even hear us leave. Can't I just go out on the back platform and sit for a while with Rags?
Yeah, it's kind of late now. I just got up to get a drink of water. Everyone on the train's asleep.
I know, but we'll be quiet.
Well, okay, son, but mind you don't stay too long. There'll be another big day tomorrow, you know. Lots of buckets to carry, a robbery or no robbery.
I know. Thanks, Bumps. We'll be good, won't we, Rags? Shh, don't answer me now. Just let me talk.
Well, that's certainly taken an unfair advantage. Good night, son.
Night, Bumps. Gee, isn't it swell out here? Golly, I love to be out in the middle of the night. You do, too? Well, I don't blame you. Golly, it's most morning, though, now. There, Pup. What? Where? I don't see anything. Shh, not so loud. Just a minute. Let me look around. Oh, so that's it. Certainly does look funny. Yeah, right over there by the horse tent, too. Yeah, can you see those shadows? Shh. Something sure enough moving. Golly, what do you think we'd better do, huh? Okay, we'll call someone. I know. Let's get Jason. Shh, not so loud. After all, he's in a bad spot. If he can catch the real burglars, I think he should, don't you? Stop it, not so loud. Come on now, quiet. Let's see, I think Jason's compartment is right near this end. Yeah, I guess this is it.
Yeah? Who is it?
It's me.
Who's me?
It's me, Jerry.
What do you want in the middle of the night? Come on in.
Gee, Jason, something's going on over in the circus lot.
What on earth are you talking about?
Honest, I'm not kidding. Right around the horse stand.
What?
Rags and me. We couldn't sleep, so we went out on the platform. All of a sudden, Rags started to growl, and there, sure enough, I could see something moving around the horse stand.
Well, maybe you've discovered something. Come on, we'll sneak out of here and find out what's what. Let's see. My flashlight and my gun. Okay, Jerry, come on.
Adventures in Time and Space. Transcribed in future tense.
Dimension X. National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, bring you Dimension X. Ralph Waldo Emerson speculated, if the stars should appear one night in 1,000 years, how would man believe and adore and perceive for many generations the remembrance of the city of God? Now, this was philosophically interesting. But on the edge of the galaxy, there is a planet which swings on its orbit in a cluster of 6 suns. These suns hang in the sky above. Never less than 2 shine down through the entire 23.8 hours of the planet's day. The yellow light has burned down on the planet continuously into the past, till the mind of man runneth not to the contrary. Theremin was a reporter for the Cerro City Chronicle. He covered them all, from the night police beat to politics to the sports pages. And the city editor wanted him to cover the biggest story of the year, perhaps of all time. It was an interview, a particularly difficult interview. But then, since his first days as a cub, Theremin had specialized in difficult interviews. He didn't expect violence, though, from an astronomer.
You're from that newspaper? Well, you've got a lot of gall coming here.
Now, wait a minute, Dr. Aton. It's only a job.
I've read your paper. You've been writing this observatory for 2 months now. You've attacked me personally. I have nothing to say to you.
All right, look, this is your chance to get your side in the paper. I'll give it to you straight. 2 months ago, the observatory issued a press statement that the world was coming to an end. Now, that's the same story that the cult of Revelations has been preaching. And when a scientist backs that up, it's news.
Our conclusions have nothing to do with the cult. The cult of Revelations is full of superstition and mysticism. We are scientists.
Yeah. And you got the people pretty angry.
That does not matter.
You know, if I can't get the story from you, I'll have to go somewhere else.
Go ahead.
All right. You know, Dr. Aton, the paper can be pretty rough on someone who doesn't cooperate.
Young man, if you're not out of the observatory within 5 minutes, I shall call the police. Now get out.
The reporter walks down the long hall from the observatory. The light filters through the high windows, the yellow light of Gamma, the brightest of the 6 suns in the planet's sky. Beta is almost at zenith. Its red light floods the landscape to an unusual orange. The planet's sun, Alpha, is at the antipodes. And now as Gamma sinks below the horizon, the red dwarf sun, Beta, is alone, grimly alone. It's a short drive from the observatory to Cerro City, and the red light glares from the highway. The temple of the cult stands, hewn from the solid rock of the Dormite Mountains, outside the city. And in the inner courtyard stands Sor, the priest of the cult.
Woe to the unbelievers! Their souls will rot with the absence of light.
Oh, wait, Your Reverence, please. Please. Tell me, Your Reverence, what will happen? What are you waiting for here?
The day of the coming, is written in our doctrine of Revelations. It came to pass that the sun, Beta, was alone in the sky. The world was shrunken and cold. Men did assemble in the public squares and highways. Their minds were troubled and their speech confused, for the souls of men awaited the coming of the stars. The lip of the cave of darkness passed the edge of Beta, and loud were the cries of men. There was no light on the surface of the world. In this blackness there appeared the stars in countless numbers. In that moment the souls of men departed from them Their abandoned bodies became even as beasts. And the stars then reached down the heavens' flame, and where it touched, the cities of the world flamed to destruction. So that of man and all the works of man naught remained. So it is written.
Dr. Sharon, you're the only scientist I could find in the city. Where is everybody?
In the hideout.
In the hideout?
The place bored me. I wanted to be out here where things are getting hot. I want to see the stars the cultists are talking about. Besides, they don't want me at the hideout. I'm too scrawny to survive.
Well, wait a minute. What is the hideout?
Well, we professors have managed to convince a few people that our prophecy of doom is valid. We've got about 3,000 people. They're supposed to hide where the darkness and the stars can't get at them. We hope they'll survive and leave records.
Survive? Survive what?
Oh, there are lots of names for it. The cultists have their myths.
Oh, yes. What about that? What is there to these myths? As a matter of fact, what is there to this doctrine of revelation?
I'm a psychologist, not an archaeologist. How true it is, I don't know. But the cultists say that every 2,050 years, all the suns disappear, and there is a total darkness. And then they say things appear called stars. Of course, men go mad. They mix all this up with a lot of religio-mystic notions, but that is the central idea.
Yeah. Well, that's impossible, isn't it? I mean, there are always at least 2 suns in the sky, most of the time 4 or 5.
There are not now, only Beta.
Dr. Sharon, you mean that there's going to be worldwide darkness tomorrow? That all mankind will go violently insane? What's behind that?
Well, for one thing, this is history of civilization of the world. We've located a series of cycles of civilizations comparable to our own, all of which, without exception, were destroyed by fire at the very height of their culture.
All right. But is there any scientific theory behind this and that would explain it?
The University Observatory finished their calculations 2 months ago. Tomorrow there will be an eclipse of Beta so that the planet will become dark. That eclipse comes every 2,049 years. Darkness comes. Maybe those mysterious stars that no man has ever seen. And then, madness and the end of civilization.
I see. And the scientists expect to live through this at the hideout, huh?
They plan to photograph the eclipse and leave the records, and then the rest of mankind will know what to expect.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Sharon, what is there in darkness to drive men mad?
Have you ever experienced darkness, young man?
No, but I know what it is. It's just... well, no light.
Draw the curtain.
Well, what for? If we had 4 or 5 suns out there, we might want to cut the light down for comfort, but with only Beta...
That is the point. Just draw the curtain and then come here and sit down.
All right. What? Dr. Sharon, I can't see you.
Feel your way.
Yeah, but I can't see anything.
Do you like it?
Well... No, it's awful. Walls. They seem to be closing in on me. I want to keep pushing them away.
All right. Draw the curtain back again.
The light. Dr. Sharon, have you got a drink?
Right here. That was just a dark room.
Yeah. It wasn't really so bad.
You're afraid.
Yes, I am. Just darkness can do that?
This isn't just a metaphysical theory, young man. It's promulgated from observed data. Come with me.
Where?
The locked ward down the corridor.
All right.
Were you at the Saro City Centennial Exposition 2 years ago?
No, I was overseas on assignment.
You remember hearing about the tunnel of mystery that broke all records in the amusement area?
Yeah. Wasn't there some fuss about it? The Anti-Vice Society had it shut down?
It was shut down, all right, but the Blue Noses had nothing to do with it.
Oh?
That tunnel was nothing but a mile-long passage through darkness. You rode in a little car, and it took 15 minutes to get through. Very popular while it lasted.
Popular?
There's a fascination in being frightened when it's part of a game. Absence of light is one of the instinctive human fears. People came out of that 15 minutes of darkness shaking and half dead with fear.
Half dead? I thought there were some deaths.
Bad hearts, but that wasn't the big danger. Now, which key is this?
Wait a minute, Dr. Sharon. Where are we going?
You'll see. No, the heart attacks were actually good for business, but there was something else. Here, I'll show you. I want you to see somebody. Latimer. Latimer.
Go away.
Latimer, I want you to meet somebody. This is Mr. Theremin.
No, go away.
Hello?
He's pushing me. Make him stop pushing me. Go away.
I'm not touching him. What's wrong?
Latimer is afraid.
The walls. They're falling in on me, the walls. I've got to get out. Let me out.
You can't go out, Latimer. It's all right.
I've got to get out. Let me out. Let me out.
At sleeping period, we have to give him a shot of morphine. Otherwise, he'd bat his brains out against the wall.
Well, what's wrong with him?
Nothing. Nothing but 15 minutes in the darkness of the tunnel of mystery.
Oh, Doctor, that's impossible.
1 person out of 10 came out of the tunnel that way. That's why we had to shut it down.
Why? Why should darkness do that?
It's obvious man cannot exist without light. Longer periods of darkness would obviously be fatal. The scientific theory is that the consciousness of light is necessary for mental activity.
Please, doctor, let me outside. Let me outside. Please, I can't breathe. They're pushing me. They're always pushing me. I can't stand them. I can't stand it.
There you are, Theremin. That's what 15 minutes of darkness will do. Man just wasn't built to operate without light. There are always at least 2 suns in the sky, most of the time more.
Yeah. Just 15 minutes of darkness.
Now then, look out of that window. Imagine darkness everywhere. No light as far as you can see. Black. Everything black. And the stars, whatever they are, well, can you conceive it? Your mind wasn't built for that conception. When the real thing comes, you'll go mad completely and permanently. There's no question of it. Tomorrow there won't be a city left standing in the world.
Well, why, Doctor? Why should the cities be destroyed?
If you were in darkness, what would you want more than anything else? What would it be that every instinct would call for? Light. And how would you get light?
I don't know.
You'd burn something, and every city in the world will go up in flames. Shall we go back to my office, Mr. Theremin, and have another drink?
Through the skies, the red sun Beta shines alone. The wind howls across the city. It's cold, colder than man can remember. And as the hour approaches, the reporter goes out and speaks to the man in the street.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, but I'm from the Chronicle. I'd like to talk to you.
Ah, a reporter, huh?
That's right.
My name is Pellet. 2 L's. Remember the 2 L's.
All right. Mr. Pellet, what's your occupation?
Power technician at the North Division plant.
Uh-huh.
You're making some kind of a survey, huh?
Yeah, in a way. Where are you going now?
Home for supper.
Well, how about, Well, what I mean is, what are you going to do tonight?
You mean about this star stuff?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, mister. It don't stand a reason that the end of the world is going to come boom like that. It just don't stand a reason.
In other words, you don't believe it?
I didn't say that, but it just don't stand a reason.
Uh-huh. Have you read what the scientists say?
I don't read stuff like that. Only the headlines.
Yeah. How about the cult?
Well, now, like I always say, I've got nothing against religion.
You don't believe them either?
Well, they've always been shouting about doom and sin. Listen, bud, when you've been around as long as I have, you get to know the score. It's all right to preach that Judgment Day is coming and all, but just the same, I'm putting money in the bank.
Uh-huh. Well, tell me, how about darkness?
About what?
How would you feel if there was no light?
You crazy? How could there be no light?
Well, now, suppose all the suns went down at once. Suppose everything was black.
Well, it's crazy. What's the use of supposing something like that? It couldn't happen. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, that's all. Thank you.
Sure. Look, mister, remember, pilot with 2 L's?
Excuse me, sir, but I represent the Chronicle, and we're conducting a poll to determine public opinion with regard to the predicted end of the world. How do you feel about it?
All this talk of scientific explanation. It's sinful. That's what it is.
Oh, I see. Well, then you're a member of the cult, sir.
I sure am. Been a member since I was a boy. My daddy was a member, too. I've seen the books. It's all writ down in the books.
Well, don't you believe the scientist's explanation?
Don't need it. Going to save my immortal soul. Going to stay on the mountaintop in a white robe while the stars carry me away to glory. Blessed be the stars. Amen.
Well, tell me, what are the stars?
The glory. The breath of the heaven. The spirit of the ultimate. That's what they are.
Uh-huh. Well, sir, the observatory has announced that it intends to take pictures of these stars.
Blasphemy. I sold my house. Gave all my money to the poor. Won't need it anymore. Going to heaven with stars. Glory, glory, going with the stars.
A reporter checks the stock exchange, the stores. Business at a standstill. Doesn't pay to buy anything today, not if the world's going to end tomorrow. There are predictions of economic collapse in the financial section, layoffs at the factories on the edge of the city. And through the streets, the people mill and turn, unsure, crying in fear or shouting with bravado. But the story isn't here in the city. And so as the hour approaches, the reporter goes again to the observatory high in the hills.
Now, look, Dr. Ratton, if you are right, if the world is going to be destroyed, what's the difference if I stay here and observe and take notes?
Oh, nothing, I suppose, but you'll be in the way. We have work to do.
All right, if I stay out of the way.
I can't be bothered with you. Now, you'll have to leave, Mr. Theremin.
Hello.
Oh, hello, Dr. Sharon.
Yeah, this place is like a morgue. It's freezing outside. The wind is enough to hang icicles on your nose. Beta doesn't seem to give any heat at all. It's so far away.
Why aren't you in the hideout, Sharon?
Me? I'm part of the race that isn't worth perpetuating. Who's got a bottle?
There will be no alcohol today. It would be too easy to get my men drunk. I can't afford to tempt them. Well, all right, Themin, you can stay, but keep out of the way.
Well, thank you, Doctor.
Well, gentlemen, I think it's time we took our positions. The observatory dome is up these stairs.
Yes, sir. After you, Doctor.
What's that? Dome, quick.
Oh, what is it?
The plates. The photographic plates. They're all smashed.
There he is. A cultist.
He's going for the telescope. After him.
I've got it. This one must be destroyed. It must be.
It's all right. It's all right. He didn't harm anything. Let him up.
Well, that's the high priest, Dr. Radon. Soar is his name. I was talking to him yesterday.
What do you want, Soar?
Nothing that you would give me of your own free will.
I made a bargain with the cult to give me certain data you had. In return, I promised to prove the essential truth of the creed.
There was no need to prove that. Stands proved by the doctrine of revelations.
I offered scientific backing for you believers.
You made of the darkness and the stars a natural phenomenon, removed all its real significance. That was blasphemy.
The facts exist.
Your facts are a fraud and a delusion.
How do you know?
I know.
I suppose you think in trying to warn the world against the menace of madness, we are placing souls in jeopardy. Well, we have not succeeded, if that makes you feel better.
Your devilish instruments must be destroyed. We obey the will of the stars.
Someone call the police in Cerro City.
There's no time for that. Let me handle this. The eclipse is only a few minutes away. Look, Saw. Will you give your word of honor to cause no trouble?
I will not.
Listen. Just as soon as the eclipse starts, we're going to take you and put you in a closet with the door closed, and you'll stay there. Then you won't see the darkness, and you won't see the stars. And that means the loss of your immortal soul according to the cult. All right now, will you give your word of honor?
You have it. You will all be damned for your deeds of today.
Look! Cameras!
Yes, sir.
Check the exposure carefully.
We will, sir.
You're shaking, Mr. Theron.
Well, I don't feel very well, that's all.
You're not losing your nerve?
No, I'm just not used to this.
You could probably make the
Now,
hideout.
look, I've been assigned to cover a story and intend to cover it.
Professional honor?
Yeah. And I'd give my right arm for a bottle right now. I need a drink. Well, what's that?
The cultist. That's the doctrine of revelations.
Well, I don't understand it.
He's chanting some old cycle language. The doctrine of revelations was originally written in it. There are probably 2 million people in Cerro City who are trying to join the cult. One gigantic revival.
Dr. Sharon, how do the cultists manage to keep the doctrine of revelations going from cycle to cycle? If everyone goes mad, who wrote this doctrine?
There are some people who don't see the stars, the blind. They would have memories, and that, combined with the confused, incoherent babbling of the mad, form the basis for the doctrine of revelations. The cult will be riding high down there in the city. I hope they make the most of it.
Dr. Sharon, I've just heard from Hideout on private line.
They're in trouble?
They are safe, but the city is in shambles. You have no idea.
It'll get worse. What are you shaking about, Doctor? How do you feel?
I don't understand. The cultists are rousing the people to storm the observatory, promising them salvation, promising them anything.
How long till the total eclipse?
An hour. I'm going to check those cameras.
It's a gamble. It'll take time to get a mob out here. If the darkness comes first, we're all right. Look at Beta.
Yeah. It's cut in half.
It's getting darker. An interesting phenomenon.
My collar's suddenly tight.
Are you having any difficulty in breathing?
No. Why?
Difficulty in breathing is one of the first symptoms we've experimented.
I'm cold. It seems to be getting colder.
We'd better keep our minds on something else.
Yeah.
One of the astronomers has a theory about the stars. He thinks they may be suns that are too far away to see in the light. He developed a fantasy about a planet revolving around one sun. It's a mathematical possibility. Of course, there couldn't be any life. Part of the planet would always be dark and without light. Well, it's obvious. Without light, there can't be any life.
It's time for the artificial light. We can't read the instruments.
Artificial light?
One of the researchers in the university worked it out. It's animal grease packed around a wick. Here, I'll light it with this spark.
Why, it's beautiful. Yellow light. After 4 hours of red. It's beautiful. Light. Light.
The dome is quiet. The priest in his yellow robe sways slowly as his lips move in the ancient tongue. Over and over he whispers the invocation to the stars. The technicians hunch over the instruments, and the sky gradually turns a horrible, deep purple red. The air grows denser. Dusk, like a palpable entity, enters the room. The dancing circle of yellow light about the torches etches itself into ever sharper distinction against the ever-gathering grayness beyond. Outside, Beta is a mere smoldering splendor, taking a last look at the world. The western horizon in the direction of the city is lost in darkness, and along the highway to the observatory surges a menacing, shadowy mass.
The mob from the city. They're coming.
How long till total eclipse?
15 minutes. But that mob will be here in 5.
We'll hold them off. Come on, Thurman, downstairs.
No, wait a minute. There's no light down there.
We have to block the door. Come on.
I can't breathe. I can't go down there.
Take a torch. We take light with us. Come on. Atom!
I'm here. Did you bar the door?
They won't get in.
All right now, everybody. 1 minute till totality. 1 minute. Just before totality, I'm changing the plate. That will leave one of you for each camera. Now remember, if you feel yourself going, get away from the camera.
It's dark. It's getting dark. Sharon, where are you? I can't see you.
I'm
Sharon.
right here.
30 seconds.
Ah!
Look out, the priest.
I can't see him.
And the wicked shall perish, and the souls of the true believers shall be transported in glory to the stars.
You can see him against the torch.
Don't let him get to the telescope.
From the stars there reached down a heavenly flame, and where it touched, the cities of the world flamed to utter destruction.
Grab him!
I'll take care of him. The world must be destroyed by the stars.
I got it.
5 seconds to totality. 4, 3, 2, 1.
The sky is black, and through it shine the stars. 30,000 minute suns shine down in soul-searing splendor. It's more frightening in its awful indifference than the bitter wind that shivers across the horrible, cold, bleak world.
The stars.
The stars! The stars! The walls! The walls are coming in on me! They're coming in! Light! Light!
Darkness. Forever and ever and ever, and the walls are breaking in. We did not know! We did not know! We did not know!
On the horizon in the direction of the city, a crimson glow begins growing. 1,000 fires strengthen in brightness that is not the glow of the sun. 1,000,000 fires, as a world mad in the darkness screams in terror for the light. The night has come again. You have just heard another adventure into the unknown world of the future. The world of...
Dimension X.
With this program, Dimension X concludes the present series. We hope to return to the air in the near future. Watch your local newspaper and listen to your local station for the resumption of the series.
Dimension X is presented transcribed each week by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street & Smith, publishers of the magazine Astounding Science Fiction. Today, Dimension X has presented Nightfall, written for radio by Ernest Kinoy from the story by Isaac Asimov. Featured in the cast were Lyle Sudrow as the reporter, Cameron Prudhomme as the astronomer, and John McGovern as the psychologist. Your host, Norman Rose. Music by Bert Behrman. Dimension X is produced by William Welch and directed by Fred Way.
When Jerry Hall went to find Mrs. Gregory's house at 12 o'clock at night, he sure got himself into a lot of excitement and possibly some trouble. A police radio car picked him up as a prowler. But finally, Jerry talked himself into the Gregory house and got a chance to tell his story to Mrs. Gregory and Captain Bradford. It's a wild story and one that few people would believe. But Mrs. Gregory and Tex Bradford are adventurers who live in a world where impossible stories come true. We find the three of them now on the afterdeck of Mrs. Gregory's magnificent yacht, the Joan Gregory. The yacht is well out of Los Angeles Harbor, and the lights of San Pedro are fading astern. It is 2 o'clock in the morning.
Golly whiskers. We're really on our way to find the magic island.
Not much magic in a wild goose chase like this.
Now, Tex, let Jerry talk. We've been disappointed on so many of these trips to search for Joan that it's nice to have someone with us whose belief is fresh and strong.
Okay, Patricia. I don't want you to feel too badly if this tip doesn't amount to anything.
But gee, Captain Bradford, there must be something to this. We both got the same radio message.
Yeah, that's what's too good to be true about it, son.
You're the most suspicious fella I ever met.
Never mind, Jerry. The captain has all my interests to look after, and his suspicions are my protection.
All right. I'm on the yacht with you anyway, and we're going to Honolulu, or wherever that message came from, and see the old sailor. Then we'll get all the story and know just where to go in the South Seas to find your little girl.
It all sounds mighty easy the way you tell it, Jerry. But there's a lot of water between here and the islands, and 14 years have been torn off the calendar since the shipwreck.
You're right, Tex, and I suppose it's foolish of me to pay too much attention to this message, but I've never believed that Joan perished in that shipwreck, and I just can't give up trying to find her.
I'll help you all I can, Mrs. Gregory. Golly, but this is a swell night, isn't it? Just look back there at the shoreline. All those lights getting smaller and smaller and sort of twinkling, like stars do just before they go out in the morning.
It's beautiful, Jerry. The only thing I like better than sailing out of this harbor is sailing back into it again.
Well, if you two can be spared from the poetry class for a few minutes, we'd better get to the radio cabin. I want Jerry to get acquainted with our set. Then we'll have to turn in. It's after 4 bells.
Oh, boy. 2 o'clock in the morning.
And time you were asleep, Jerry.
Oh.
Let's go in the cabin with Tex and see the radio. Then we'll all turn in.
Captain. Here comes the skipper. Pat, you take Jerry in the cabin. I'll check with the skipper and join you in a minute.
Come right in, Jerry. I'll show you around.
Boy, is this a radio cabin or is this a radio cabin?
Everything shipshape, skipper?
Aye.
We don't know what our course is to be, but for the time being, we're chasing a radio message that probably came from somewhere in the Hawaiian Islands. So just hold the general course on the regular lane until I change it.
Aye.
We've a new hand aboard. He'll help me with the radio. I'll fix it with Sparks, and he can split a watch with you.
Aye.
Better turn in now, Skipper. You can take over after daylight, and I'll join you in the chart room for some skull practice on navigation to imaginary points. We've got to locate a magic island.
Who?
All of us.
Nuts.
Who?
Everybody.
Well, maybe you're right, Skipper. But just the same, that's what we're looking for. Well, see you at breakfast. Will you join us in Mrs. Gregory's cabin?
Aye.
That's all, Skipper. You can shove off.
Aye. Magic Island nuts.
I don't blame the skipper much at that. Well, I see you've got the set warmed up, Jerry. How do you like it?
Gee, Tex. Captain Bradford, it's a darb.
Darb, huh?
It's all right, Tex. Jerry says darb is the highest praise he can find for anything.
So you think it'll do, kid?
Do? Gosh. I bet it'll get anything in the world. It's all set to go now. Can I try it?
Go ahead. And while you're enjoying yourself, you might as well be working. I'll see that you stand a regular watch here if you can handle that set right. That way I won't have to relieve Sparks and can take it easy.
Why not let Jerry call Johnson and make our report?
What I had in mind. Work on 3 meters, son. Ask for J12C. That's Johnson, our radio operator and chauffeur in Los Angeles. Sign yourself as Jerry on J24Y. That's this yacht.
You can get this set down to 1.5 meters, can't you?
Yes, and we can work in that wavelength on our Los Angeles set, too, Jerry. That's how we heard the message about the dying old sailor in his magic island with a little white girl on it.
That's where I got it at home, too. Gee, you know, Dad and I thought we had the only set in the country that would work on 1.5 meters.
Yes, and we thought we were the only ones. You and your dad must know something about radio to build a set like that one. Funny, too.
Well, no funnier than you having one. You see, my dad has studied radio all his life. He doesn't have to work anymore and just plays with it all the time. We can send on 1.5 meters, too.
Yes, I thought you could.
Why, Tex, what do you mean?
Oh, I know what he means. He thinks I sent that message just to get you to sail for the South Seas so I could get the trip with you.
Well?
Oh, Jerry, you wouldn't do a thing like that, would you? Knowing how much it means to me, how badly hurt I'd be if we made this trip, Didn't find any trace of the little white girl?
I wouldn't do that for anything in the world, Mrs. Gregory.
Okay, son, we'll let her go. For now.
To the Gregory
Gee whiz.
There he is again.
What's the matter, kid?
1.5 meters.
To the Gregory Land Station, Los Angeles. To J12C, Los Angeles.
Now he's...
Quiet.
Calling J12C. Relay this message to Yacht Joan Gregory. Stand by for message. Cannot raise yacht. Relay this to them.
He doesn't know we can get him on the yacht.
Quiet.
To the Gregory Yacht. You will not find the old sailor in Hawaiian Islands. Set your course south. Further directions later. Old sailor delirious. Probably dying. Keeps repeating position of island. Says his diary will tell you white girl living there. Island position. Latitude 29 degrees south. Longitude 124 degrees 30 minutes west. That is all. Repeat to Gregory Yacht. Repeat to Gregory Yacht.
Gee, the same thing.
Tex, the position was the same as given before. And the old sailor keeps saying there's a little white girl on the island.
Yes, yes.
What are you doing, Tex?
Checking my directional beam finders. We've got to know where those messages are coming from.
There's something wrong with them, all right, or they'd be signed. Why would anybody send a message without signing it, if they were honest?
Maybe they haven't got a licensed station.
Yes, here we are. He wasn't on long enough for me to get a very long curve on the graph for calibration. But one thing is sure. That message did not come from the west, north, or east.
Then it had to come from the south.
Yes, recording directional receiver shows only direct impulses. And the only place it was disturbed by those beams was through about a 60-degree angle to the south.
That's awfully broad, Tex. If the sender is any distance from us, that angle could spread out to cover thousands of miles of ocean.
I know it. But it's 10 to 1 that Johnson got it, too. We can check with him later. You and Jerry stick with this set to pick that fellow up if he comes on again. I'm going to change our course. We're heading south right away.
Oh, Jerry, I'm so excited and encouraged about it all.
Me too. Gosh, even Captain Bradford seems to be taking it plenty seriously now.
That's what makes me so happy. Tex has been through a lot of these things with me. He doesn't believe wild stories very easily. So when he gets excited, it looks as if we had a chance to accomplish something.
I've got a hunch we're going to find your little girl Joan all right. But what kind of people could she have been living with? I mean, on this island, that wouldn't let the world know all about it before this.
There are so many things that might have happened, Jerry. But if we really do find a little white girl on this island, and it is Joan, I won't care about anything else.
Well, when you have time, and if you want to, Mrs. Gregory, I wish you'd tell me the whole story of the shipwreck. I mean, just where it happened and how you were saved when everyone else was drowned. And what made you think your little baby was saved?
Of course I will, Jerry. And I'll start right now. We'd been in a terrific storm for days. The yacht we had then was very much like this one, except that it was named after me, the Patricia Gregory.
Oh, and this one is named for your little girl, the Joan Gregory, isn't it?
Yes. Well, we were making dangerously heavy weather of it, along the 30th parallel, when all at once...
Say, wait a minute. The 30th parallel. This radio message. The 29 degrees south. That's near the 30th parallel, all right.
Why, Jerry, so it is. I didn't think of it just that way before. There's only about 69 miles between the parallels at that latitude.
How about the longitude? This message said 124 degrees and 30 minutes west.
That would be about right, too.
J12C to J24Y. J12C to J24Y.
Is that Johnson?
Yes, Jerry, acknowledge him.
Hello, J12C. Jerry Hall for Captain Bradford on J24Y. Go ahead, J12. Go ahead.
Never heard of you, Hall. We'll talk only to Bradford.
Can you beat that? That guy drove us to the boat, but he never heard of me.
I'll explain it to him, Jerry. Let me have the microphone. Hello, Johnson. Hello, J12C. Patricia Gregory to Johnson. Jerry Hall is okay. He's the boy we brought with us. Tex is out on deck. Jerry authorized to do relief watch on this set. Confirm receive that.
Okay, Mrs. Gregory. Okay work with Jerry Hall on J24Y. Better get Captain Bradford in cabin for this message. Have important relay for you.
That's what we heard direct, I'll bet.
Oh, here's Tex now. Tex, Johnson's calling. Wants you to take over for this relay.
Okay, J12. Bradford. Go ahead, Johnson.
Relay of message just received. Logged it on 1.5 meters. More about the old sailor and his island. Position repeated, correct as given before.
Break, J12. Break it, Johnson. Okay, J12. We got it direct. Now check your directional graph. Get me the best line you can on it. I'll hold the set open.
Checking graph now. We'll report when finished.
Now we'll have something definite to go on when we want to set our course.
Good old Johnson is always on the job. And his instruments are really better than these portable ones.
Maybe so, but, well, I don't understand how we can localize that radio beam better than you can right here.
He can't, but he has a chart exactly like this one, in front of him at this minute. And when he gives me his reading, I log the line of it right here. Then extend the line I have from our reading, and the point where those lines cross should be a pretty accurate location for the radio transmitter we're receiving those messages from.
Beam falls in zone 1-8. Zone 18 south. 18 south.
Zone 18 south. Okay, Johnson. Stand by.
Now, can you get at your figures pretty close to it?
If we were farther from Johnson, the angle would be better. The tech should hit it fairly well.
By George, there it is. And those lines cross almost on the 30th parallel.
Golly whiskers. 30 degrees south. And the message said the Magic Island was 29 degrees south.
Nobody said anything about a Magic Island.
Oh, Tex, let Jerry call it anything he wants to. If we can only find it and my little girl is still alive.
Don't say if, Mrs. Gregory. We're going to find your little girl, Joan, on a Magic Island.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P, Pep. Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine Cereal, presents
The Adventures of Superman. Today, the reprieve granted Tommy Lee by the swift action of Superman is short-lived as Matt Riggs, fanning the flames of hate, rides with his hooded followers to another cowardly attack.
Hello there, gang. This is your pal Dan McCullough. If you could line up all those tender flakes of Kellogg's Pep that are eaten every morning for breakfast, how far do you think that line would stretch? Way out beyond the horizon. Why, you bet your life. And if you could heap together all the good eating fun you fellows and girls have with Kellogg's Pep, why, you'd practically have a mountain. Because Kellogg's Pep is really hep when it comes to tickling your taste. For one thing, it's loaded with sparkling sunshine flavor. Come back for more flavor. And Pep is crisp, too, and light, and toasted golden brown. And Mom knows Kellogg's Pep is good for you. Sure, brings you solid whole wheat nourishment plus. That's nutrition for you in a neat form. Why, Pep tastes so terrifically good, you keep busy as anything until you've finished up every bit in your bowl. And that's one way to keep from wasting it, you know. And another way is to pour it out carefully. Because nobody wants to waste Pep when we're sending the cereal grains to fellows and girls overseas. So, gang, when Mom brings Kellogg's Pep home from the grocer's, make sure there's no waste at your house. Always eat all your Pep. Don't waste it.
Now, the adventures of Superman. When Jimmy Olsen, as manager of the Unity House baseball team, selected a Chinese boy named Tommy Lee for his number one pitcher, he incurred the wrath of a band of intolerant bigots calling themselves the Clan of the Fiery Cross. The former pitcher, a boy named Chuck, was the nephew of Matt Riggs, Grand Scorpion of the Clan, whose un-American credo is one race, one religion, one color. Seeing an opportunity to extend his campaign of intolerance, Riggs harangued his followers into a fury against the innocent Chinese family by persuading his jealous nephew to say that Tommy Lee had tried to kill him. Following two cowardly attacks on Tommy, which were foiled by Superman, Riggs decided to tar and feather the boy. As we continue now, 12 of the robed and hooded bigots are climbing into a canvas-covered truck in the yard behind Matt Riggs' house, just as Chuck rides his bicycle into the driveway. Not wanting to be seen, the boy wheels quickly under a tree, remaining undetected in the darkness. Listen.
We'll show those rotten chinks and all others like it, won't we, brothers? Yeah. Everybody set? Yeah, let's get the lead, kid. Okay, then, here we go.
5 Terrified and heart-pounding, young Chuck Riggs watches the truck carrying his uncle and the other hooded terrorists roar out of the dark driveway.
Jeepers. They said something about getting Tommy Lee. I better follow him.
Pedaling as hard as he can, Chuck Riggs rides his bicycle out of the driveway just as the Klan truck turns the corner. Then, his eyes fixed on its two winking red tail lights, he follows. Another turn, jouncing over the railroad tracks. And the truck comes to a stop, brakes squealing before a small, modest bungalow. Matt Riggs and his hooded Klansmen leap to the pavement, strike down a police officer who starts to challenge them, then stride across the tiny patch of lawn onto Tommy Lee's front porch. Just as Chuck skids into the vacant lot across the street and throws himself panting to the ground, Matt knocks heavily on the door of the little house.
Open the door, Tommy Lee! Open it up and hurry up!
Oh, holy smoke.
That's the kid. Grab, boy. Come on, you dirty little...
Let me go. Will you?
We'll let you go when we get done with you.
What's going on here? Good heavens. Take your hands off my son.
Take care of that silly foreigner, somebody.
I'm not a foreigner. I'm an American. Let my son alone.
Don't you touch him.
Well, let's take care of the old man. Come on now. Bring the kid out of the truck.
You murderers. What did you do to my father?
He got off easy compared to what you're going to get.
Let me go. Let go of me.
Yeah, nice hot coat of tar and feathers. Throw him in that truck and gag him.
Let me go. Help.
In with you little yellow rat. Okay, Matt. Okay, drive to the bend and step on it.
The truck roars into the night with young Tommy Lee and his brutal captors. Chuck Riggs scrambles to his feet in the vacant lot. He is sweating with fear and his legs shake under him.
They're murderers. They're going to kill Tommy. I can't let them do that. I got to do something. The police. No, I'll get arrested. It was my fault because I told lies about Tommy. Oh, what'll I do? I got it. I'll call Jim Olsen. He'll know what... No, he'll recognize my voice. But I gotta do something. I gotta. Oh, wait. I know. Yeah, this'll do it. I gotta get to a telephone, but fast.
Leaping on his bicycle, Chuck rides furiously toward a lighted drugstore in the distance. A few minutes later, a sleepy night telegraph operator in the deserted Daily Planet City room yawns and reaches for the ringing telephone at his side.
Hello, Daily Planet.
Is Mr. Kent there, please?
Kent? No, he left long ago.
He did. Oh, gosh, I gotta talk to him. Do you know where he went?
I wouldn't know, Bud. Call up in the morning. Bye.
Wait. I gotta talk to him. I tell you, I've gotta. Haven't you any idea where he is?
How would I know where Kent is? I'm only the night wire man. Call up tomorrow.
I can't wait till tomorrow. It's a matter of life or death. Look, could you tell me what his home number is?
Hold on, Bud. I guess it's in the book here.
Oh, gee, thanks.
Let's see. Here it is. Metropolis 4320. Metropolis 4320.
Metropolis 4320. Thanks, mister. Goodbye. Oh, Mr. Kent doesn't answer. Oh, jeepers, what'll I do? Just gotta talk to him. I've gotta tell him about Tommy before it's too late. Come on, Mr. Kent, answer your phone. Please answer.
Desperately, Chuck Riggs tries again and again to reach Clark Kent, but in vain. Meanwhile, the truck carrying Tommy Lee and the hooded mobsters has crossed the Metropolis River to the wooded shores beyond. It is now lumbering down a narrow, little-used hill road whose shoulders drop away sharply into leafy darkness.
That little kid's family will certainly beat it out of town after this, Matt. Yeah. Think you can get me Lee's job in the health department, then?
Sure I can. Just leave it to me. Hey, come back here, kid. The kid's getting away.
What's the matter?
He's getting away.
Get him, Joe, quick.
My slippery as an eel.
Hold him,
Hold him.
He's
Out of the truck.
Hold him. He's gone.
Stop the truck. Stop the truck. After him, everybody.
As the robed and hooded men stretch out in a long line and work their way slowly downhill through the thin woods, their victim, Tommy Lee, crouches behind a fallen log at the edge of the swift-running river. His forehead is beaded with sweat, and he hugs his throbbing right arm, broken in the leap from the truck. Blocking his teeth to prevent his crying out in pain, his heart hammers wildly as he hears his relentless pursuers draw closer and closer.
They're coming closer and closer. What'll I do? What'll I do?
See him yet, Will? Not yet. I'm a watch sharp. We'll come to the river. He must be around here someplace.
Gosh, they're all around. They'll find me, sure. They'll kill me.
Keep your eyes peeled, Joe. We're going to get to those punk any minute now. Look, there's the river. He must be right in here somewhere. I'll give him an extra coat of tar for this.
Creepers, here they come. They'll find me now, sure. Well, they didn't have this broken arm. I could try to swim. I've got to go in the river anyhow. It's my only chance. All right, I guess this is curtains. And here goes.
Will, what was that? What? Did you hear that big splash? Come on. Look, there he is. Where? In the river, don't you see? The current's taking him around the bend. Holy, come on, we gotta get him out. No, wait, let him alone. He won't last 5 minutes in those rapids. I know it, but we... the river's done our job, Will. Now we gotta get out of here fast. Okay, boys, everybody back the truck.
Pausing only a moment to watch the swift current seize the painfully injured Tommy Lee and sweep him into the torrent of deep rushing water pouring around the bend. The robed and hooded clan, their murderous work done, turn and hurry up back through the woods to their truck. Meanwhile, several miles away in Metropolis, Chuck Riggs, suffering the pangs of conscience, is still in the drugstore telephone booth calling Clark Kent's telephone number over and over again.
Keep ringing, operator. I've got to get Mr. Kent. I've got to. Or maybe I'll be a murderer.
How near is Chuck to the truth? We'll know more in a moment when we return for the dramatic climax of today's episode. So stand by.
Well, we're finishing up the 9th inning, gang. It's the last call for this week's Pep Dish of the Week. And what a score it's made. It's a strawberry doubleheader, you know. Teams up Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine cereal, and red ripe strawberries. Here's the batting order. First, put half your regular serving of Kellogg's Pep in the bottom of your bowl. Then a juicy layer of crushed fresh strawberries. Finish off with more Pep and a few plump berries that you've saved out. Add milk and sugar, and that's it. Strawberry doubleheader. A pennant winner if ever there was one. Believe me, Kellogg's Pep does add sparkle to the berries. It's crisp and crunchy and loaded with sparkling sunshine flavor. I mean, it's delicious. Why, no matter how you serve it, you're sure to eat up every tender spoonful of Pep in your bowl. And that's the hep thing to do, you know, particularly nowadays, because we're sending the cereal grains to fellows and girls overseas. So, gang, get hep to Kellogg's Pep. When Mom brings Pep home from the grocer's, make sure it's not wasted. If you pour your own Pep, pour it carefully and eat up every bit you pour out. Pass the word along to the rest of the family, too. Remember, eat all your Pep. Don't waste it.
Aware now that his own jealousy and lies had brought about the tragic attack on young Tommy Lee by the clan of the Fiery Cross, Chuck Riggs has been for some time attempting to reach Clark Kent by phone from a drugstore. Suddenly, the door of the booth is thrust open.
Look, Sonny, you expect to stay in this phone booth all night?
Huh? Oh, no. As soon as I get this call, I'll be out.
You've been in there half an hour. Get out now and give me a chance.
I can't, mister. This call is awful important.
So's mine. I can't wait around all night while you talk to your girl.
I'm not calling a girl. You see it.
Come on now. Get out and let me make my call. I have the manager of the store throw you out.
But jeepers.
Besides, you ought to be in bed at this hour. Now get out.
Oh, gosh. Well, all right.
Forced to leave the phone booth, Chuck Riggs hangs up at the very moment that Clark Kent, returning to his apartment, hears the phone ringing, opens the door quickly, and rushes across the room.
Hello? 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 Hello?
Nobody on the line. I wonder who wanted me. No. I hope it wasn't anything important.
Drowning Clark Kent, whom we know to be Superman, the one person who might still be able to save Tommy Lee, replaces the telephone, unaware that by a grim stroke of fate, by the merest fraction of a second, Tommy's doom may have been sealed. What will happen now as the vicious clan of the Fiery Cross, the cowardly men who murder at night hidden behind their sheets and hoods, succeeded in doing away with an innocent boy whose only crime in the eyes of his attackers is that his skin is a different color from theirs. No. We're sure Superman can still find out in time to save Tommy and defeat the men of hate. But how? Monday tells the story, so be sure to be with us then. Tune in Monday, same time, same station. Don't miss a single minute of the next thrilling episode in this expose of fanatical and un-American bigotry.
Say, gang, you know what fun it is to make your dog sit up and beg for something good to eat? Well, if you want to make sure your dog gets a good dinner that'll help keep him strong and husky, ask your mother to give him Kellogg's Grow Pup dog food. If you feed Grow Pup to your dog along with the scraps of meat and fat, he ought to get along just fine. That kind of eating will help give him strong bones and teeth and muscles. There's Grow Pup Ribbon, Grow Pup Meal, and Grow Pup Pellets. Just see which your dog likes best and ask Mother to feed it to him regularly. Remember, that's Kellogg's Grow Pup. And be sure to be with us on Monday for the thrilling adventures of Superman. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Tired of the everyday grind? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all? We offer you Escape.
Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
You are on an island in the South Pacific, a fortune within your reach, yet standing between you and freedom, keeping you a captive and a slave, is a giant of a man, and the most beautiful woman you've ever seen.
Listen now as Escape brings you John Russell's great story, The Bird of Paradise.
With his heart full of greed and £100 in his pocket, Andrew Harben traveled east through the archipelago into the Solomon Sea. He went questing across many degrees of latitude before he came to the Spice Islands, where at the ancient town of Ternate he found the shop of a fat Dutch half-caste. There he was shown into a room that flamed with color, as if all the rainbows of the seas had been trapped and graded and hung up for sale. These were the skins of the birds of paradise, the shyest and rarest of all creatures.
Dutchman.
Yeah?
Which is the prize bird of this lot?
All are very scarce.
I didn't ask that. I asked which is the scarcest.
I will make you a bargain on any of them.
No, you won't. I'll make you a bargain.
You do not understand.
It's not your price to sell I want, but to buy.
You have birds for me to buy?
Not yet, but I will have. Where do these skins come from?
Who knows? From island tribes to the east somewhere. Sea gypsies trade them from coast to coast until they finally arrive near enough to Ternate for me to buy.
There'll be no middlemen with me. I'll go direct to the islands.
Maybe you might kill 5-6 natives before they cut off your head.
Nonsense.
Also, the sun is very hot today.
Now, look here, you stupid Dutchman.
Please, I meant no insult, please.
And watch your tongue before I twist it out of your fat mouth.
All right. It's your life you risk. Come, I will show you something. Now, in this chest is the rarest bird of all. Show me.
Purple and gold. I never saw one like that.
Yeah. I call it the Imperial Bird of Paradise. Once a year comes to me 6 skins. No more. Worth 50 times the price of common ones.
50 times?
Never comes more than 6 skins.
From where?
Who knows? The natives with which I trade and the wild sea gypsies with which they trade.
Nobody knows. But somewhere east is an island. One island where lives the imperial bird of paradise.
I'm not looking for fairy tales, Dutchman.
Yeah, well, maybe it is only a fairy tale.
But you do get a few of these skins, huh?
Half dozen a year. No more.
Very well, then. Tell me where I can pick up a small cutter. Seaworthy, but cheap. I'm going to find that island.
The Solomon Sea is sprinkled with thousands of tiny islands, one very much like another, and all equally wild and uncharted. And very soon after sailing from Ternate, Andrew Harbin could not have told his whereabouts on a map within the dab of his thumb. For 3 months he wandered fruitlessly through the sea and touched upon island after island. Then, as he was about to give up, he fell ill with a fever, and when a howling gale smashed his vessel on a reef one night, he was cast ashore, dazed, and scarcely caring where he had landed. When morning came, it wasn't the sun that woke him, but a huge monster of a man with cold blue eyes and a thick red beard.
Are you dead or just playing possum? Well, I thought so. Where's your boat, mister? Who's here with you?
I'm alone. My boat's wrecked.
Trying to land it in a storm? What kind of a sailor are you?
I'm not a sailor.
Well, what might you be, then?
A trader. A businessman.
That's a lie. There's no white traders among these islands, never have been.
Well, I'm not exactly a trader. I'm looking for something. Maybe you can help me. After I get a little food and rest.
We'll see about that when you tell me what you're looking for.
I'm looking for an island.
Oh, you are, eh? Well, you're on an island. My island.
Your island? Who are you, anyway?
I'm Jim O'Ryan. Late second mate of the schooner Mary Friend wrecked that reef out there December 19th, 3 years ago. And you're nothing but a sneaking trespasser. I know what you're looking for.
No, I came in peace, O'Ryan. I don't want your island.
Yes, you do. You're one of them fortune hunters is what you are. I tell you, mister, I've been expecting one of your kind. I've been waiting for you.
Waiting? For me?
Or some thief like you. But you should have brought along a company and a machine gun or two. I managed you think to cut out this little island by your only, the likes of you. Would have broke your neck first off.
Why didn't you?
Wanted to be sure in my mind just what manner of man you are first.
And, sir?
You've come to destroy this place. The stink of the world is on you, mister. You're evil, and you're going to be treated like evil.
I've come too far to be stopped now, O'Ryan.
The fight you want, well, then...
And so the huge Orion took Andrew Harbin, now unconscious, slung him under one arm, and climbed the beach to a little clearing in the jungle beyond. And there stood a neat bamboo house, and before it, a girl. She was clothed in one gorgeous robe of purple and gold, made all of bird skins. Hundreds of imperial paradise bird skins. And she herself was even more beautiful than they.
Orion, you lied to me. You did not bury them all. You told me you buried them, every one.
Well, how do you know I didn't dig this lad up again, Lagoma? Who do you think it might be now? The captain?
It can't be.
No. Captain never could have growed so monstrous thin. Look at this one.
It's alive, Orion. It's a man.
What's left? A poor specimen of that. Wouldn't it be best to kill him now, Lagoma?
No.
Now, what's this to bite me? What made you do that, huh? What's come to you?
I want him. Don't bury him away in the ground with the others. He's a new white man. I want him to keep.
Oh, you do, eh? I had no idea I was bringing a present strike your fancy so close. Well, you little spitfire.
Can't you touch her, Orion?
Oh, look, Nagoma. Your beachcomber's going to be a hero.
Lay off.
Come on, lad. Give it to me.
I'll give it to you.
Now again, get up and try it again. Oh, man, that was good. First fair wallop I've had of the enemy armed for 3 years.
Stop, Orion. Don't spoil him. Don't take him away from me, or I will be very angry. Carry him into the house now before he dies.
So, you're awake now, eh?
I'm awake.
3 days of eating and sleeping's enough.
I've got a bit of fever yet.
That'll go.
I want to thank you and Nagama both for your care.
Do you now?
Well, I'd have died otherwise.
My real mistake was not cracking your neck off when Nagama laid eyes on you. I forgot the child had seen no other man but me for years. Now she's taken a notion to you. Like a new toy or a bit of a poodle dog.
You kept me alive.
And I'll let you live such as Yarsel's Nagoma will have her poodle to play with. Even though you come to this lovely Eden of mine to rob it for dirty gain, you thieving buccaneer.
I'm an honest trader, Orion. I'm not a thief.
Oh, maybe Nagoma believes that. Even though I've warned her what you come here for and what kind of a man you are. She's all innocence, that child.
But what is there here to rob you of? It's just another island.
It's the island you was hunting for, you scum. I'm sorry I am. I ever traded one of them purple bird skins now. I might have known it to bring greedy devils like yourself smelling for the place. I had to have knives and tobacco, and them sea gypsies had taken nothing else.
Oh, you mean birds of paradise, huh?
Don't be sly with me, you filthy rat. And forget about Nagoma, too. She thinks you're something grand now. She'll know better when she sees you put to your proper place.
What do you mean?
There's no gun on this island, Harvin. Whenever you want to kill me, you'll have to try with your hands. And you can try and I can smash your face again.
Why should I try?
Well, you're not going to like the jobs I set you to. Jobs? Didn't I tell you? There's much to be done by way of public improvement around here. And you'll start in a big pit I've dug, clear in a spring of water.
What do you mean that you're going to keep me here as a slave?
Well, you don't think I'd let you go knowing what you do about them birds, do you now?
What do I care about your birds?
I told you to stop that lying. Now a slave is what you are. Till you prove yourself a better man than me, do you see?
You are listening to The Bird of Paradise, tonight's presentation on Escape. Stan Freberg stars on CBS Radio's Friday night comedy series called That's Rich. Try it on for size and for laughs tomorrow night on most of these same stations. That's rich, you will say, and you'll be right. And now, Escape, and the second act of The Bird of Paradise.
Andrew Harben had traveled far and suffered much to find the island of the imperial bird of paradise, but his pains had just begun. Still weak and feverish, he was taken next day to the edge of a black volcanic cliff, and there he was kicked into a great hole some 12 feet deep and with straight, unscalable sides. After him, Orion threw a wooden spade and a bucket and ordered him to dig for a spring that might lie under the rock. And here Andrew Harben toiled and sweated like the slave he had become day after day. And here he lived. At noon, Nagoma would bring his food and lower it in a basket. And then, perched on the bank above him, she'd gaze down at him and talk.
Are you feeling better today, Andrew?
How could I feel better? Kept down here like a bear in a pit.
Sometimes I think you should have never come to this island at all.
Sometimes I wonder what goes on in your head, Nagama.
Not much, I suppose. I know little of the world. Only what Orion has told me.
Oh, I see. But, look, Nagama, don't you ever want to get away from here? Get out into the world?
I've never been in the world. I was going to Port Moresby. A missionary was taking me, but he was drowned when we wrecked. The island where I was born and this one is all I know.
Nagama, how would you like to go with me?
With you?
Ah.
Oh, I'd like that, Andrew. But Orion says the world isn't nice. He says people are always stealing and lying and fighting. Nobody has any honesty or honor.
No. That's not true.
Orion says it is. He says if people knew of us, they'd take our world away.
Do you love Orion, Nagama? Huh?
You mean like sometimes I'd comb his beard?
Maybe.
I'd like to comb yours too, Andrew. You have such a pretty yellow beard. All curly.
Well, listen, Nagama. You can't comb the beards of two men. You can only love one man.
You talk such funny words, Andrew. I know nothing of these things. What use are so many words?
Oh, I'll show you what use they are, Nagama.
How?
Help me get out of this pit some dark night.
Oh, no, Andrew. He put you there.
Listen, Nagama, do you know why I came to this island?
Orion says it was because you are a thief.
No. I came here to take you away, Nagama. I came to find you and take you back with me.
Me? Why, Andrew?
Because I love you. And because you're beautiful. There's no one in the world as beautiful as you, Nagama.
Is this true, Andrew?
Orion told you I came seeking the bird of paradise, didn't he?
Yes.
Well, he's right. Except for one thing.
What one thing, Andrew?
You are the bird of paradise.
Oh, Andrew. I'm so glad you're still alive.
Well, my pirating screen, how's the luck down there?
Orion, if you've any decency left, get me out of here.
A thief and a spoiler like you talking of decency. Get to work and find that spring. Ah, by heaven, you're not worth your keep, Harvin. I'm coming down there. You wait till I fix my rope.
Hey, you might have let me climb down that rope instead of kicking me into this hole like you did.
The rope's for me. Harvin, you've done mighty little work down here.
There's no spring under this rock, Orion, and you know it.
Why, then dig for gold, man, or precious stones. You're a fortune hunter, are you not?
You're insane.
Insane, am I? Because I want to live here in peace. Because Nagoma's more to me than the riches I could have from the bird.
All right. Look, Orion, you've got a boat. I saw it. Let me take it and leave here.
I thought of that. And it's 1,000,000 to 1 chance that you'll ever be able to find your way back, but I won't risk it.
What are you going to do with me, then?
Arvin, a plucky freebooter like you can handle a shovel brisker than you've been doing. Now dig into it, you lazy scumbanker.
No, I won't.
You won't, eh? Then maybe you're ready to fight. Is that it, lad?
No. You hurt him.
No, he's not hurt, Nagoma. Needed limbering up is all. I'm coming out now.
You promised me, Orion.
I promised you what?
You said you wouldn't spoil him.
Oh. Well, now look at him now, Nagoma. He's on his feet again, as good as new.
Are you all right, Andrew?
I'm all right. See? Now, I've work to do, Nagoma, and you can stay and play with your poodle dog if you like.
And you keep away from him, Orion.
You teach him to be civil, then.
Poor Andrew. Would you like some water?
No, thanks.
You mustn't think Orion's always so mean. You should have seen how patient he was teaching me to read.
He taught you to read?
Out of a book he saved from the ship. It's the only one we have.
The Bible, eh?
No. It's a ship's book. The log.
The log? The log of the Merry Friend?
Of course, it's not very interesting. It's full of numbers and the like.
Sure. Numbers. Longitude and latitude. Every day till she was wrecked out there.
What, Andrew?
Listen, Goma, I'm a far better educated man than Orion. I can teach you many wonderful things he's never heard of.
Can you, Andrew?
Of course. But you'll have to bring the book with you.
Well, what good would that do, Andrew? You down there and me up here.
Listen to me, Nagoma. All the things I have to teach, I must whisper to you with my lips against your ear. Do you understand?
Are they truly wonderful things, Andrew?
Wonderful things, Nagoma. But don't you see, I'll have to get out of here first.
But how can you get out?
The rope. Orion's rope. You can tie it and drop it down and leave it hanging. And then when it's dark, I'll come out and meet you on the beach.
Orion would be very angry, Andrew.
You'll never know. Tonight, Nagoma, bring the book with you to the beach. I'll meet you there, where Orion's boat is anchored.
All right, Andrew. And maybe I can comb your pretty yellow beard.
Oh, yes. Yes, Nagoma. Yes, of course.
Andrew Harbin had known many women and many different kinds, but Nagoma's almost incredible simplicity was something new and startling. Because of it, however, he regained his freedom, and when night came, he climbed up the rope and made his way to the beach, his wooden shovel in hand in case Orion should stumble on them. Nagoma was waiting, as she had promised, and in the moonlight she seemed more than ever like the imperial bird of paradise. He put out his hand and touched her priceless robe where it hung across one shoulder.
Andrew, you've come out. Orion will kill you if he finds us.
It's worth the risk, Nagoma.
Oh, I did a very bad thing to listen to you and let you out. I was a bad girl, Andrew. Why did you make me?
Nagoma, my little wild bird, I must teach you what it is to love.
You promised to teach me many wonderful things, Andrew.
Yeah.
Here, I brought the book, The Log of the Merry Friend.
Oh, good. I'll put it in my belt. Yeah.
But you were going to teach me from it.
There's no time now, Nagoma. Later.
Later?
When we're at sea, I'm in Orion's boat. You'll come with me. Well, you will, won't you?
You want me, Andrew?
Oh, you know I do.
And the birds of paradise?
Well, I told you. You're what I came here after.
Nagoma! Nagoma!
It's Orion.
Nagoma!
Yeah, he's on the beach there, near his boat.
He hasn't seen us. Let's hide, Andrew. Hurry. He's coming this way.
Behind that palm there. I'll fix him this time.
Not with the shovel, Andrew. No.
Quiet. You'll be quiet. I got him. I've won, Nagoma. I've won.
You killed him.
No, he isn't dead, but I've got the log. I'll come back and strip this island. I'll take 1,000 skins. I'll be rich. There won't be a bird left when I'm through.
The log, Andrew. That's what you wanted the log for.
It's as good as a map. It's better.
It wasn't to teach me wonderful things.
What you need to know. I'm going to be rich.
Orion was right. You are only a thief.
I want you too, Nagoma.
Me too. Orion wants only me. He cares for none riches.
Orion's a fool. That we're wasting time. Let's get to the boat and put to sea before he comes around.
No, Andrew.
Huh?
You go. I'm staying here.
What?
You want the skins more than you want me. You lied about coming here just for me.
What difference does it make?
You better hurry, Andrew.
All right. Stay then if that's what you want.
Wait. Before you go, kiss me. Just once.
Kiss you? You're an odd girl.
Please?
Oh, all right. But why? Why do you kiss me now, Nagoma?
Quick now, hurry.
Goodbye. Bye.
And so, on Orion's boat, Andrew Harbin made his escape. All that night, he labored hard to keep from wrecking on the innumerable reefs that seemed to protect every island he passed. And he had no time to think about Nagoma and why she had rejected him with their first kiss and their last. But with the coming of the sun next morning, he found out. Yes. And in the months that followed, as he sailed here and there over the sea, trying to find his way back to civilization, he had time to ponder on the unbelievable cunning of even the most innocent of women.
Andrew Harbin. Back at last. I thought you were dead.
I very nearly died, Dutchman.
Aha. You bring your head at least. And the Imperial Bird of Paradise. Did you find the island?
Almost. I almost found it, Dutchman.
Almost?
I had the island right here in my belt. Longitude and latitude. And a woman embraced me. Embraced me and robbed it back.
What are you saying, Harbin?
The ship's log. It was as good as a map. But I'd never find the island again now if I had 50 years to look for it.
Yeah, the sun is bad for white men. It makes fairy tales in the head.
Yes. It's time, Dutchman. I'm afraid you're right.
Under the direction of Norman MacDonald, Escape has brought you The Bird of Paradise by John Russell, specially adapted for radio by John Meston, starring John Daner as Andrew Harbin. Featured in the cast were Lawrence Dodkin, Gene Bates, and Ben Wright. Edgar Berrier was the narrator. Your announcer, George Walsh. The special music for Escape is composed and conducted by Leif Stevens. Next week.
You are kneeling in the church of a Caribbean village, seeking the sanctuary it might offer, while slowly, walking down the aisle, carefully studying each bowed head, is the brute of a man who has come to kill you.
So listen next week when Escape brings you Les Crutchfield's story, Violent Night. Don't look back. Look ahead to tomorrow night when CBS Radio presents another Arthur Godfrey Digest. It's the Godfrey Gang on nighttime radio over most of these same stations, taking all their best daytime songs, music, and shenanigans and pasting them together in one Friday night scrapbook of smiles and syncopation. The Arthur Godfrey Digest. Don't miss it tomorrow night at the Star's Address. Weekday evenings, Beulah cooks up comedy on the CBS Radio Network.
Instant Ralston and Regular Ralston, the hot whole wheat cereals in the red and white checkerboard packages, present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed Space Patrol adventure, Buzz and Happy are in their spacesuits on Saturn's moon number 5. Cautiously, they make their way toward a criminal who has already made one attempt upon their lives.
Smoking rockets, what was that? Space grenade. Well, if you hadn't pulled me down, we'd have got some chunks of rock right through our suits. We can't back out now. Let's go. Yes, sir.
Hold it, Corey. I'll get you this time.
We'll return in just a moment with today's exciting Space Patrol adventure, The Lost Condor. Hey there, Space Patroller. Hold up a minute. What's all the rush?
Oh, hi, Captain Tito. I'm in a hurry to get to the grocer's.
I bet you I know why. You're after more of those swell interplanetary space coins I hear jingling right there in your own pocket.
Yes, sir. Are they ever neat? Fun to swap and save. Got almost a whole set and I want lots more. So long, Captain Tito. Gotta blast off fast.
Space Patrollers, how about you? Have you started building up your own space coin collection? You get a space coin inside of every new package of hot Ralston. And say, have you started powering up with a good hot breakfast these cold mornings? A good hot breakfast. That means a bowlful or two of good hot Ralston, instant or regular. The hot whole wheat energy cereals that give you important vitamins and minerals in every spoonful. And taste out of this world, too. Yes, there's just no other cereal that gives you so much power, yet tastes so good. So, Space Patrollers, you blast off fast for your grocer. Get yourself some good hot Ralston, instant or regular. And look for the new packages with the picture of Commander Corey or Cadet Happy on the outside and with the neat interplanetary space coin on the inside. Start building up your own space coin collection right away and start powering up with good hot Ralston today. And now, today's Space Patrol adventure, The Lost Condor. Buzz Corey is at a criminal rehabilitation center on the planet Venus, conducting his annual inspection when he receives a strange request to one of the doctors. A patient named Don Blake has asked permission to speak to him. Right now, Buzz and Mr. Cadet Happy are seated in the spacious lounge of the discharge section talking to the young man.
It's awfully good of you to see me, Commander.
What is it you wanted to talk to me about, Blake?
Well, that's the strange part. I don't know exactly. I suppose I should be happy about being released. But I'm not. I'm worried.
There's nothing to worry about. You have a job and a place to stay.
Sure, you'll be a draftsman at spacecraft plant number 2 on Mars. It's all right. That isn't what bothers me. I have the feeling I haven't told the authorities everything.
If that's all that's the matter, you can stop worrying. When you were arrested, you were given a brainograph test. Everything you knew about the crime you committed was on microtape.
Sure, you couldn't have held anything back if you wanted to. Still, I have a feeling that I know something unpleasant, something evil.
Dealing with what? A certain place or person?
Well, that's the trouble. It's nothing definite.
If there is something about a crime in your subconscious mind, it would have shown up in the first test.
Well, maybe it'll come to me later, after I'm released.
It may, but the chances are it isn't very serious.
I hope not. My diary. I'll go through that when I get settled.
Your diary?
Yeah. Before I was arrested, I kept a detailed record of everything I did. Perhaps some entry in my diary may jog my memory.
Well, that's possible. If it turns out to be important, let me know.
I certainly will, Commander. And thanks very much for talking.
Good luck, Blake. Come on, Happy. We'd better get back to Terra. A few days later, young Don Blake returns to his home a short distance from the spacecraft plant in Lowell City on the planet Mars. And as he enters the comfortable living room...
Oh! Who are you?
Hello, Blake. Nice place you've got here.
How did you get in?
You just walked in. The door wasn't locked.
No. So I don't like locked doors.
I can understand why.
You haven't told me who you are.
Doesn't matter. I know who you are and where you've been for the past 9 months.
Well, that's no secret, but I can't see it's any of your business.
Now, don't get thirsty. I'm here to do you a favor. A big favor.
What kind of a favor?
You have some information I can use.
I'm willing to pay for it.
Information about my work? If that's what you're after, you can get out of here right now.
Calm down, Blake. Calm down. The information I want has nothing to do with your present job. It's about something that happened about 10 months ago.
You mean my property was committed?
Maybe.
Okay.
Tell me, does the name Condor mean anything to you?
Condor?
You associated with the spaceship?
No.
Think hard. Did you ever have any dealings with the pilot of a tramp spaceship called the Condor?
No, I'm afraid I can't help you now. If you'll be good enough to go, I'll...
Hold on. Let's not give up so easily. The memory is sometimes a freakish thing. Isn't that why you once kept a diary?
How do you know that?
I know many things about you, Blake. You wrote many trivial things in that diary. The titles of books you read, the names of chance acquaintances.
Yes, that's right, but
And the name of the pilot of the Condor is very likely in your diary, or at least a clue to his identity.
I'm sure you're mistaken.
It won't hurt to let me look through the book.
And that's what you're willing to pay me for.
Well, not entirely. The money will be for you to keep this conversation a secret. How about it, Blake?
I don't like this at all. You won't even tell me who you are, yet you offer me money for information on a purely personal, private document. No, I'm not interested.
Better think it over, Blake, for your own good.
Is that a threat?
That crime you committed a few months ago. Did it ever occur to you that someone may have been behind the scenes, quietly arranging events to your advantage? Sort of paving the way for you?
No, it was my own idea. I was in it by myself. It was just an accident that I found a man who could help me dispose of a loot.
Accident, was it? Blake, that man was there when you needed him because I planned a complex chain of events.
But I got caught. Everything stolen was recovered.
I planned that, too. Your petty crime was arranged to distract attention from a much bigger crime.
I don't believe it.
That's unimportant. My plan was complex to protect myself. There were many people involved, each as ignorant of the master plan as you were. When an unforeseen accident occurred, I had to put my chessboard away for 10 months, so to speak, until I could put a certain pawn back into play.
And I'm the pawn, have it?
Exactly. Your diary probably contains the small bit of information I need to win the game. If you don't help me, well, I can easily arrange another series of events around you.
You can't make me commit another crime. No.
I wouldn't be too sure, Blake. In any case, I could easily arrange a crime in which you would be the victim. It would be a shame if your second chance in life were to be cut short, Blake. I'll give you 48 hours to think it over. If you're smart, you'll give me the diary when I come back.
Several hours later, on the man-made planet Terra, Buzz and Happy are working late at Space Patrol headquarters.
I'll get it to you.
Commander Corey's office. Could I help you, man? Who's calling? Just a minute, please. Sir, it's Don Blake.
Blake? Oh, from the rehab center.
Yes, sir. He wants to talk to you. That's important.
All right, then. This is Commander Corey. How are you, Blake?
I've got to talk to you.
Where are you?
Terra Spaceport.
All right, come on up. I'll tell the duty officer to let you in.
No. I wouldn't dare do that.
What's the matter? Are you in trouble?
Not yet, but I can't tell you over the phone. It's about the matter I spoke to you about on Venus. It involves a serious crime. I just got in from Mars, and I may be followed if I leave the spaceport.
Followed? By whom?
Commander, I'm near gate 22. Get down there right away.
All right, Blake. I'll be there. Corey out. Come on, Happy.
Gate 22 at the Big Terra spaceport is far down the line, away from the regular passenger gate. Unobtrusively, Buzz and Happy make their way to the appointed place. Buzz listens to Blake's story of the strange visitor and his vague but alarming threat.
So I thought I'd better come here and tell you all about the whole story.
You never saw this man before?
No, sir, I'm positive.
And he didn't tell you his name?
No.
Where is the diary?
I've got it right here inside my jacket.
Better give it to me.
Yeah, glad to. Maybe I've got too much imagination, but ever since I talked to that man, I've had the feeling that he's guilty of some crime. The crime I helped to commit.
Don't draw any conclusions until we get all the facts. Happy.
Yes, sir?
See that Mr. Blake gets back safely to Mars. Put him aboard the next passenger ship out of Terra.
Commander, you're not going to send me back to Mars.
You'll be guarded. When that fellow shows up for his appointment, we'll nab him. Now go along with you.
All right, Commander.
Don't lose any of you.
It's him. That's the man.
You're very foolish to try this, Blake. Now, Commander, give me that diary.
Why should you be interested in this man's diary?
Quit stalling.
Don't make any move toward your weapons. If I'm forced to use this blaster, it'll attract attention. Others might be hurt. The diary, please. All right. I'm anxious to see what use you'll make of it, Mr. Corbett. Police Corbett. That name means nothing to you. Yes, and it never will. Move toward that parked surface car. Casually, please. Come along, Blake. And be careful not to get between the space patrolman and my gun. What are you going to do, Corbett? I'll explain in due time. Keep moving, gentlemen. So this is the car. Commander, you and the cadet get in the back. Come on. You'll drive, Blake. I'll keep our friends covered. Go on, Blake. Do as I tell you. All right. Now, the slightest move from either of you, and you'll find out what a blast gun does at close range. Start the car, Blake. Drive through the gate, slowly, just as though we were driving out to the ship. Turn left, there, at the far end of the port. There's no ship out here. No. Nothing but a fuel storage tank. Now, you two in the back, lean forward. Come on. All right, Corey, here's yours.
Hey, what's the idea?
Now, Blake, step out of the car.
No.
You heard me.
No.
Jump unless you want to be part of the accident. What do you mean? Get out. I'll follow as soon as I head the car right for that fuel tank. Now, get out!
We'll return to Space Patrol in just a moment. Listen to that football player kick that ball. And listen to that crowd cheer. Power, that's what he's got. More power to him and more power to you. Power to think fast and act fast. And you get it from a power breakfast with the swell-tasting whole wheat power cereal, Good Hot Roastin', instant or regular. More power to you, because 1 ounce of delicious Hot Roastin' gives you 20% of the vitamin B1 and 11% of the iron you need all day long. And that's not all. Hot Roastin' gives you all the power of whole wheat and twice as much power from the heart of the wheat. That's why a good breakfast with Hot Roastin' gives you extra protein for powerful muscles, extra vitamins for sturdy growth and steady nerves. So join the power team. Get Hot Roastin', instant or regular, at your grocer's today. No other cereal gives you so much power, yet tastes so good. So more power to you from Good Hot Roastin'. And now back to our Space Patrol adventure, the Lost Condor. For a reason he is not fully divulged, the man calling himself Least Corbett is after a diary belonging to Don Blake, a young man recently released from a criminal rehabilitation center. While Buzz and Appy were talking to Blake in a dimly lit portion of the spaceport, Reese Corbett appeared and, drawing a blast gun, took the diary and then forced the 3 men into a surface car. After knocking out Buzz and Happy with the butt of his gun, Corbett ordered Blake to jump from the moving car. Then Corbett leaped out, leaving Buzz and Happy in the car, which is now roaring across the spaceport toward a fuel storage tank. Dazed from a vicious blow, Cadet Happy raises his head.
Oh, my head. Look at rocket. Who's driving? Hey, Commander, we're headed right for a fuel tank. Grab the wheel, Happy.
Oh, we just missed it, Commander. Corbett was certainly anxious to get rid of us. And Blake must have been right about that diary being important.
Now Corbett's got Blake and the diary. Head for the guard shack near Gate 5, and we'll alert Space Control.
Across the spaceport, Corbett and Blake, bruised by their leap from the moving surface car, watch the car careen around the strip and finally come to a stop.
Leg. I heard it when it jumped. You'll get a lot worse than a bad leg if you don't hurry. We've got to get to my spaceship and blast off before Corey alerts the control tower.
Blast off where?
Never mind. Just get moving.
In the guard shack, Commander Corey orders Space Control to ground all private cruisers, then orders a careful check of all passenger ships.
Gate 5, Corporal Niven here. Yes, Captain. Just a moment, sir.
Commander Corey.
Yes?
For you, sir. Captain Barton in the tower. Thanks. What is it, Captain? What? Didn't that order get through? I see. All right, Captain. I'll be in Colonel Ryan's office at Port Headquarters until further notice. Hurry out. Got away, huh? Yeah. Corbett used a false identification call to the tower. He must have been ready for this kind of a getaway. He got through the locks before the tower noticed the mistake. Couldn't we blast off after it? Yes, but if he has Blake with him, we'd be at a disadvantage. First, let's see if we can find out what Corbett is up to. Well, how are we going to do that? He must have pulled off some time at about the time Blake was arrested. Probably a major robbery that's still unsolved. If we check the records for that particular time, we might find out which one it was. Right. Then there's this mystery word, Condor. It's connected somehow to a pilot or a tramp spaceship. Well, spaceship registry might run that down for us. Yeah, if it could, Corbett wouldn't wait 10 months for Blake to be released. No. Condor must be a nickname known to a limited circle. I'll contact a few pilots and spread the word around. To find out who or what the Condor is before Corbett does, you can lay a trap for him.
Elsewhere, avoiding the space lanes, a private cruiser speeds away from Terra toward the outer planets. With frequent glances at the viewscope, Reese Corbett sets the controls on automatic pilot, then turns to Don Blake.
All right, you've had plenty of time to read over your entries in the diary. Find anything out about the Condor?
No, it's no use, Corbett. I couldn't help you even if I wanted to.
You're not qualified to decide that. While I was making it easy for you to get away with your poultry haul, I had another gang working on a job of real value. What was it? Never mind. At one time, your loot and mine were aboard the same ship. And the valuable stuff was transferred by another group of intermediaries. With a slip of a curb.
What makes you think the information is in my diary?
Because, Blake, you are an observant young man, but not a very analytical one. You collect facts, but you don't source them. Your mind is like a sheet of old-fashioned flypaper. It catches everything that touches it, but digests nothing. That's why I selected you above 100 others. And I'll read your diary aloud. When you come to the right entry, I'll recognize it. Go on. Start with the entry for...
In the spaceport office on Terra, Cadet Happy brings Commander Corey a sheaf of reports he's just received by spaceophone.
Here it is, sir. List of crimes that occurred during the period you mentioned.
Thanks, Captain.
I put a check mark on this one, sir.
1 million space credits stolen from Underplanet Bank. Nothing recovered to date. All suspects arrested so far have been released as having no knowledge of the crime.
It's pretty hot, doesn't it?
Yes, Hap, it does. And it all ties in with the information I have on the Condor. Got a lead, Hap. One of our men got hold of a commercial pilot who could talk.
You found out what the Condor is?
Yes. It was an old tramp spaceship. No one has seen or heard of it for several months. It's owned by an old-time pilot named Stubby Sykes.
Did he disappear with the ship?
No, he's now working as a mechanic.
A mechanic? Where?
You'll find out when you get to the Jupiter City spaceport. Let's go.
Hours later, the Terra 5 lands at Jupiter City spaceport, and Buzz and Happy go immediately to a rambling structure bearing the sign Repair Shop Number 6. A foreman points toward a short, stocky, middle-aged man engaged in straightening a section of rocket engine housing.
Excuse me, are you Stubby Sykes?
Yep.
Could I talk to you a minute?
Sure. Glad of a chance to rest. Swinging the hammer's heavy work.
It must be. I'm Commander Corey of the Space Patrol, Mrs. Cadet Happy.
Hello, Mr. Sykes.
Howdy. Won't shake hands. Pretty busy.
Say, isn't there an easier way to straighten that metal, Mr. Sykes? I mean, with a machine instead of a hammer?
Son, there's 3 ways of doing the job. Easy way, hard way, and the right way. I'm doing it the right way.
I guess I got to.
I guess you did. Mr. Sykes, I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Fire rockets?
Did you ever own a spaceship called the Condor? Did you, Mr. Sykes?
Yeah.
Boy, what happened to it?
Ship can't last forever, Commander. You know that.
Yes, but what happened to the Condor?
It's an old ship. Done its work and had its day. Cracked up. Smashed, so now I'm a mechanic. That answer your question?
Pardon me. When did this happen?
10 months ago, more or less.
Where?
On Saturn's 5th moon. Controls wouldn't work. Tried to land to make repairs. Kinda cracked up. I finally hailed a small lunar cruiser. With a real smart aleck pilot. He was lucky I didn't toss him through his own nose port with the cracks he made about the Condor.
I'm sorry about your ship, Mr. Sykes. Oh, was any of the cargo salvaged?
Cargo? Nothing but junk. Not even a payload. A few 100 pounds of processed food, a few cases of tools. Nobody'd bother going after it. Record's still there.
Mr. Sykes, would you help me find the Condor?
Well, right now I'm on overtime. Got to get this job done today.
How about tomorrow morning?
All right. Tomorrow morning.
Fine. I'll make arrangements with the foreman.
However, the next morning, after a visit to the airport, Happy returns with disturbing news.
Commander, Mr. Sykes is gone.
Are you sure, Hap?
I just checked with the foreman. He got aboard a spaceship about an hour ago with another man. Sykes' roommate saw him, and the roommate knows everybody that Sykes knows, and this fellow was a complete stranger. From the description, he sounds like Reese Corbett.
We'll find out. Get to the ship, Hap. We're blasting off for Saturn number 5.
A private space cruiser flies low over the craggy surface of Saturn's fifth moon. Reese Corbett is at the controls. As Stubby Sykes scans the craters and deep ravines.
Yeah, ought to be Lost Condor pretty quick now, Mr. Corbett.
Fine.
Hope I did right in not telling that Corey fellow I was going with you.
You'd have been foolish to tell him, Sykes. The new salvage law gives the Space Patrol 100% of the proceeds from the salvage of wrecked spaceships and cargoes. Corey wouldn't have to give you a single credit, even if the Condor is your own ship.
No, I didn't know about that law. I haven't been following that end of business lately.
Lucky I located you in time, Sykes.
Never did know who owned part of that cargo I was hauling. Never thought it was worth going after.
I was deceived by a dishonest agent working for me at the time. It's taken me 10 months to find you.
There she is. There's the Condor down there in that crater just the way I left her.
Get out the spacesuit, Sykes. I'll land the ship close to the wreck so we don't have far to carry the cargo.
As I can tell at this distance, Commander, they're decelerating. It must be preparing to land. You're right, sir. They sighted the Condor. The wreck shows up in the viewscope way up in the corner. Grid 9-8.
Yes, I see it. Now the trick is to land close to them without giving them a chance to blast off. We can come in low and keep the sun behind us.
Yeah, they won't be able to hear our rockets as long as there isn't any atmosphere.
Be sure your suit spaceophone is set to our secret frequency. We may have to use the regular frequency to talk to them, but I don't want them picking us up till we're ready.
On the surface of Saturn's fifth moon, Sykes and Corbett stand amid the wreckage of the old spaceship. Scattered about are half a dozen large crates, which Corbett examines carefully. Unnoticed by either man is a tiny black dot against the bright disk of the sun, a dot that grows steadily larger.
We won't have to move all of these crates, Sykes. Yes, you know what you're doing, Mr. Corbett, but none of this stuff looks very valuable to me.
Oh, don't you worry about that. You'll get the 500 credits I promised you the moment we're through loading and back in the ship.
That isn't a life for you. Here I am, a mechanic, getting more for lugging a few crates than I got for many an interplanetary trip as captain of the old Condor.
I couldn't have found the Condor without you. Besides, I may need your help to destroy the wreckage.
Huh? We don't need destroying anymore.
3 space grenades will blast the old hunk to pieces, and the Space Patrol will never find it.
That hardly seems necessary, Mr. Corbett. What do you care?
Come on, guys. Let's get to work. Help me with this crate.
All right. You're the boss. Say, over there. Where'd that other ship come from? Darned if it didn't land without me noticing. It's Corey's ship. Those 2 fellows in spacesuits. Must be Corey and his cadet. Well, we was here first, so I guess the
Don't
joke's
stand
on
there,
it.
Cappy. Stop. Take one of these space grenades.
Say, hold on. What do you want to do?
Yes.
Corey, you crazy?
Smoking rockets, what was that? Space grenade. Wow, if you hadn't pulled me down, we'd have got some of those chunks of rock right through our suits. We can't back out now. Get behind this rock, Happy. It looks like Sykes is on our side. He's pulling Corbett's arm. Corbett's got another grenade. Shall we rush them? Yes, from above. Huh? With low gravity on this moon, we can reach Corbett in 1 leap. Yes, sir, but we'll come down awful slow. We'll use our jetpacks to force us down quickly. All right, Hap, jump. Hey, he missed us again, thanks to Sykes. Use your jetpack, Hap. Hit the ground as soon as you can. Yes, sir. Tell me, where's Blake? He's in the ship, locked up in the compartment. He's all right. Better be.
Commander.
Yes, Sykes.
Tried to stop Corbett from harming you. Don't know what he's up to, honest to know.
I believe you. Happy, show Sykes what Corbett came here for. Show him what's in that damaged crate. Oh, yes, sir. Here, Sykes. Take a look at this.
Space credits? Bales of it.
$1 million of them, Sykes. You and Blake can split the reward.
Reward? I get a reward?
Certainly. Blake led us to you, and you led us to the money.
Oh, Condor. Seems like she's worth more busted up on the ground than she is flying.
Well, with your share of the reward, you can probably get another ship, Mr. Sykes.
Nope.
I reckon I'm just like the Condor here. Better off on the ground. It's all the same to you. Buy me a new hammer. Big one.
An action preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure in just a moment.
Hi, Space Patrollers. Commander Corey here.
Space Patroller Kevin Rogers here.
Space Patroller Rogers and I are just finishing up the most important meal of the day.
Yes, sir. Just had a power breakfast.
And a power breakfast always means a big bowl full or two of good hot Ralston.
Instant Ralston or regular Ralston.
Those wonderful hot whole wheat energy cereals that give you twice as many body-building elements from the...
Part of the wheat.
Right. Good hot Ralston does give you all the vitamins and minerals that any other cereal provides and twice as much power from the...
Part of the wheat.
Right again, Space Patroller Rogers. And it tastes just as good as it is good for you. So take it from me, Space Patrollers, and I've investigated every other cereal in the universe. No other cereal gives you so much power yet tastes so good. That's why it's the official hot cereal of the Space Patrol. So head for your grocers, get a package of good hot Ralston right away.
And remember, you get a swell interplanetary space coin inside every package.
And now a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Commander Corey and Cadet Happy have entered a warehouse on the planet Venus to rescue an abducted explorer. As they creep up a flight of stairs, two criminals lurk above them behind a huge barrel.
Easy now, Happy. I've got Marcus in the place somehow. Commander, the top of the stairs.
Get your hands up. We're Space Patrolmen.
I'm up and got it.
Come on, Hap.
Comes the barrel, Perry. Roll it down on him.
Commander, look out!
Be sure to join us again next week for the thrilling story, The Venus-Tulania Mystery, when Instant Ralston and Regular Ralston again present Space Patrol! Space Patrol, created by Mike Moser, starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston, produced and directed by Larry Robertson, executive producer Mike Devery. Other players were Ken Mayer, Norman Jolly, Stephen Robertson, and Joe Cranston. Dick Tufeld speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday when Instant Ralston and Regular Ralston again present Space Patrol! This is Dick Tufeld in Los Angeles reporting on the famous jet plane assigned to the vital Air Force mission of defending America's homeland, Lockheed's F-94C Starfire. In a moment, we'll hear from Tony LaVere, the well-known record-breaking test pilot on the Starfire. Within seconds after warning, this radar-controlled interceptor can be off the ground and streaking to 45,000 feet or higher. Packing 48 rockets, it can fly and fight in sunshine or darkness at speeds of more than 600 miles per hour. Now, Tony LaVere, tape recorded this morning at a California airbase.
You know, good health is important to a test pilot, and I have to stay in top condition. I get lots of rest and eat plenty of good food. That's why I like a good cereal for breakfast, like Rice Chex or Wheat Chex. They have real energy and they taste swell. Why don't you try them?
No other cereal, puff or flake, contains so much nourishment in such concentrated bite-sized form. So take a tip from Tony LaVere, Joe Lynch, and other top test pilots. Make your cereals Rice Chex and Wheat Chex. Be sure to see another exciting Space Patrol story on your local ABC television station. Consult your local paper for time and channel. This program is broadcast for Armed Forces overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Space Patrol came to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.